Thanks for watching this vehicle. There's a buddy at the gym, a friend of mine, and he was starting to talk to a new girl and she ghosted him. And he said, "Hey, Jake, what should I do? What do you think about this?" I looked at the text exchange and he left her a voice. She was texting him and then he left her a voice note, a kind of a longer one. And then he sent her another text because she didn't respond after he was kind of vulnerable and left a voice note. And she didn't respond. And he was upset. He was like, "What's going on, dude? Da 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 da." I'm like, "Well, bro, two things. If you're the kind of guy that likes to leave voice notes and this and that and the other, it's probably not a good match with this Instagram model girl. She's seeking a lot of validation and attention outside. She's probably pretty shallow. I know I'm generalizing, but she's probably just a shallow girl who needs a lot of attention. She's a good person. She's a good human underneath all that mess that she has in her life. But the reality is, right now, who she is a person who needs a lot of attention from everyone, everywhere else. And you're just one other person, and you being overly vulnerable, she doesn't have the capability to go there with you necessarily. She's more superficial. And it's the reality that a lot of guys have to understand is when women are on social media and dating apps, they're getting bombarded with attention. And so it's very easy just to jump from this to this all day long. And that's what they're being bombarded with. And if you try to sync up with someone who is not gonna validate you or give you, prioritize your time, prioritize you over all the other things in their life, then it's not really a relationship. You're just kind of dating, right? You're just dating. And dating means sleeping with multiple people, usually in modern culture, right? So so here's the thing. You have to understand that that's the game that's going on over there. And if you're so uneasy about it, you don't have the capacity to handle it. You literally don't have the nervous system regulation and capacity to handle dealing with someone who's doing that. You don't want to be in relationship with someone. You're just with someone who's doing that. You're literally just abusing yourself and abusing your nervous system if you're trying to catch up and play that game with someone like that. You're gonna mess yourself up bad. So the other point is, why would you try to get validation from someone who doesn't care about you? Ultimately, that's what's happening, is you realize that that person does not care about you. You're just another person, so you're abusing yourself by engaging with that kind of behavior. So you have to have higher standards, value yourself more, work on your career and your purpose, have your own male friendships and all this type of stuff, and build yourself up outside of that so you're stable and secure, your nervous system is regulated, and you're not angry and frustrated and up and down constantly. And then once you have that baseline, then you can go date, but you don't go date like some IG model. She's gonna run you through the ringer, and then you're gonna hate women and all this stuff. But that's just where they're at in their life, and that's the stuff that they're doing. And it's just up to you whether you don't cry about it. You just don't engage with people like that, because you literally will wreck your life. So you have to understand your nervous system is like, there's a capacity that you have to handle certain things. Like, so I was shot at, and then the family will, I realized I got a small sliver, a 10% sliver of the family will, and my other family members got a big portion. So I got left out, feeling abandoned. That dysregulated me. When someone tried to kill me and shoot me, that dysregulated me. And then, I made a bad trade with my life savings. And lost like 10% of my net worth overnight. That dysregulated me. And then I was engaged with someone who, not literally engaged, but also literally engaged, married. someone who, now I'm not going to like judge or criticize anyone. I'm just saying, if their lifestyle and their character and their nervous system isn't synced up with yours and you don't feel calm, it's like it's going to be really hard to have a relationship with someone if you can't get yourself calmed down and regulated, where you feel smooth and easy together. You can sleep next to each other. You can have conversation. You can be yourself. You can speak your truth. You're not afraid to say no. All this behavior, if you're afraid to say no, if you're conceding just to keep the peace, to get sex and stuff like this, you don't realize it, but you're just screwing your whole life up, because if you're an authentic person, you're watching a video like this, you're trying to self-actualize and become the best version of yourself, figure your life out the best you can, then you watch stuff like this, and you can't be with a superficial person. If it dysregulates, you can, but as long as you're okay with it. But I dated a Korean girl for 7 years, and she was very spiritual and introverted, and that's probably why we got along, because she was introverted and spiritual and organized and disciplined and all this stuff. And you can be disciplined and organized and extremely extroverted and extremely social and lots of guy friends and all this, and running around from here to here to here to this party, that party. That I can't be. I tried. It just drives me crazy. And you can say you're insecure or fearful or whatever. I'm like, literally, I got sick from dealing with, I just couldn't, I don't have the capacity to be around someone who lives a lifestyle like that, because here it is 4:30 in the morning, I'm making a YouTube video. I had a protein shake already, right? And I walked 7 miles yesterday and lifted weights. In my lifestyle, I don't go to bars and clubs and raves, and I invest my money and I try to build my wealth and have a meaningful, purposeful life and help other people, right? And I'm primarily focused on that. So you have to understand that you have a capacity, and it's like a cup, and right now your cup is probably very small. And then eventually over time you build it up, but you can't just jump in with, and here's the thing, if you're always overweight, like I was when I was a kid and had low self-esteem, and then you do become this nice, attractive man with muscles and money and da-da-da-da-da, girls are gonna throw themselves at you. You can't handle it. It's like when people win the lottery and they get a bunch of money, guess what they do? They immediately, within a year or 3, they go back to their initial, who they were from the beginning when they had no money. They blow it all, they go back to all their habits, because at their core, they're still the same person. So in this personal development journey, you eventually go back all the way. I'm 42, after 5 years of doing this, or 10 or whatever, you go back to, it's all subconscious programming and belief systems about yourself, and that's who you start working with. Yeah, you can go get the money. I did a little bit of that, got some cars, did a little bit of that, got the girls, did a little bit of that. None of it fixes it. It all comes down to who you think you are and your beliefs about yourself. Do you think you're a loser? Do you think you're a winner? Do you love yourself or not? So essentially it does all come down to that. And you will love yourself, but by being in a relationship with someone who does not prioritize you, you're not gonna feel loved, and you're actually not loving yourself if you stay with someone who's not prioritizing, because by definition, it means you value someone who doesn't prioritize you. That's not loving yourself, right? So if someone doesn't text you back, I'm not trying to be red pill. You just move on. You don't double text. You don't follow up. If someone messages me about training, coaching, whatever, and they don't respond back, I don't respond. I don't double text. Hey, so you still interested in training? I don't do that. I just move on. Because if they're not that interested, then they're not that interested. I'm not gonna like manipulate them into trying to buy from me or something like that, right? You contact me, I'll help you out. If you contact me and don't respond, then you don't want it bad enough. And it's up to you to get the job done. So love yourself, not because of what you can do or what you have or in relation to other people. Just love yourself because you're a valid human and there's nothing wrong with you. You just think that there is, but there's actually nothing wrong with you. You just believe the thoughts and the patterns from your childhood and da-da-da-da-da. But here's the thing, your nervous system still thinks there's something wrong with you. So you have to reprogram those thoughts, because if you're still scared a lot, your nervous system doesn't have that capacity. So you're still a 12-year-old boy in an adult body. So I can catch my thoughts, but my nervous system will still get dysregulated in high risk situations, like a crazy party girl, which most of you guys have not been in a relationship with, or you would, most guys think, oh yeah. But no, well, have you been married to this, or have you been divorced to this, or have you been shot at, or have you moved across the country, or have you done this, right? That stuff, it's life. That's how you learn. And you don't learn until you hit that wall where your nervous system can't handle it anymore. But here's the deal. You'll want to exit it. Once you exit it, I can see my HRV got better. I'm healthier already. I'm sleeping better. I'm actually eating food. I'm sleeping. So it's not always to just jump ship, especially if you have kids and a marriage. You don't jump ship. You fix it. You work on yourself. But if you're single and you're working into it, you've got to constantly be working on yourself and then taking small steps. And if someone does something crazy out of character early on, just leave. You have to just leave. You have to just cut your losses. Like, oh, I really enjoyed that, but no, this person is not a good fit for me long term. That's all it is. And you just be really greedy on the front end with relationships, because relationships are long term, and you do not want to spend time with people that you're gonna be dysregulated around a lot just for some sex or just for some entertainment. So hopefully it helps you. Back to the initial question, it was a guy from the gym, and he said, what I do, this girl basically like ghosted me. You realize that you love yourself more than that, and someone who ghosts you like that, for whatever reason, doesn't value you, and you're not gonna abuse yourself and try to get validation from people who don't value you, and you value yourself more than that too. And then so how do you get to the point where you value yourself? You just understand that by engaging with people who give you breadcrumbs like that, they don't value you. So you have to value yourself more. I mean, it sounds red pill or something, because it's very spiritual. It's very self-love spiritual, but it's also red pill. Eventually you'll realize that all this spirituality stuff, it's like you start off on the red pill trying to personal development, all this stuff. Then you end up getting back to spirituality. It's like, love yourself. And it's like, well, if you love yourself, then you don't take crap from anybody else, and you hold yourself on a high standard, but it's like through God, whatever that means. So eventually you get back to the point where you're like really back to the behaviors where it's more red pill, where you're like, I don't really care what other people think. I'm just doing what's best for me. But it's through love. It's not to manipulate someone else. That's the difference. And this is where you want to be in your life. You want to be where you're not trying to manipulate others. You're trying to live your life to the best, to the fullest, highest that you can. Love yourself the best you can. Live a free life. Another thing, if you didn't have that one issue with women, I asked this guy this. I said, have you ever felt that you had peace in your life around this topic? He was like, no, I've never. I was like, so wait, you've never had peace in your life at all? And he was like, no. So this guy has never had any type of peace or self-regulation in his life ever. So get to where you're regulated and you have peace in your life and things are going okay before you try to take on a girl. Okay? If you're not regulated and you're not peaceful, you're not going to be able to hold space, hold frame for another woman, especially not a crazy, chaotic Instagram model. You have no chance. She's going to burn you alive. She's going to eat you for dinner. Let me know what you think in the comments. Catch you in the next video. Be sure to subscribe. I like doing these talks a lot more than talking about how many repetitions on bicep curls and silly stuff like that. Catch you in the next video.